Thank you very much, Presiding Officer, and can I congratulate Jackie Bailey on securing this debate this afternoon and pay tribute to her efforts in this field. I also want to pay tribute to another group of people, and I never thought that I would do this in this chamber or indeed in my political life, and that is pay tribute to the bankers. So if the Chamber will let me explain myself over the next few minutes, that would be very, very grateful to them for that. Not just any bankers, but particularly the Royal Bank of Scotland, who in particular are the market leaders when it comes to supporting women in business. RBS actually have 400 women in business specialists across the whole of the United Kingdom working with female entrepreneurs every single day. And they've actually produced a report in their most recent Entrepreneurship Monitor just to talk about the differences between the type of support that women and men need when they're in business. And they do caution us by saying these are small differences, but they are consistent throughout all the times that they've done this monitoring report. The types of reasons why women might be less likely to go into business as opposed to men are a fear of failure. They're more likely to think that from the offset that they're going to fail. They worry more about finding start-up money in the first place to take that leap into business. They worry more generally about the economic situation facing their country. And they also worry more than men about their own skill set, the abilities that they may or may not have to take that leap into business. When you also start to examine the type of businesses that they set up and also what success looks like to them, the measures of success are different for women than for men. So women tend to be far more interested in producing a quality brand, Presiding Officer, whereas surprisingly the men are more interested in making a quick buck. So there are substantial changes and differences in that. And the conclusions
I think you're upsetting Mr. Leonard there.
The conclusions that I would seek to draw from that, Presiding Officer, is that women don't face any greater challenges than men necessarily to access business. They face different challenges. And any economic strategy that a government should be arguing for needs to cater for these differing needs. And if you end up with an economic strategy which is classically determined towards those needs of men, then of course you're going to lose out on the opportunity of women stepping into business for the first time. And as other speakers have mentioned, this is an economic imperative for us all to overcome these barriers because of the potential economic growth that could come from it. The figure that's mentioned in the RBS report is a potential £60 billion worth of additional revenue for the UK economy, which we all know would be critical to our own public services. There are two reasons why I wanted to thank the bankers. One was just RBS's commitment to doing this work and identifying those reasons from their own experience. The second is the money that RBS put directly into Entrepreneurial Spark, which members across the chamber may be familiar with, which is direct help to support not just women, but everybody in terms of taking that leap into business. I've had the great pleasure of visiting Entrepreneurial Spark in Brighton, in Glasgow, and just yesterday in Edinburgh, in my home city. I was really struck by the fantastic work that's taken place there. They also have done an evaluation of their own work, Presiding Officer, and it's very interesting that the average age of a woman who accesses Entrepreneurial Spark is 30, and the average age of a man is 52. And when I asked them to perhaps explore some of those reasons why, the reality was that the type of women who would use Entrepreneurial Spark would be those returning after a period looking after their kids, returning to work full stop, whereas for men it was a change in career. Something happened in their life, a crisis point, which meant maybe they'd left the army or a service, and they were then seeking to access business from that perspective. I met 5 inspirational women yesterday, Presiding Officer, one of them setting up an urban dance company, somebody else is providing social media expertise for Edinburgh Airport through their own company, one has set up a marketing agency to pitch for major events to bring to Scotland, another one is developing 21st century harnesses for children, and another 2 women in fact have set up a healthy chocolate factory. If women could achieve anything in this world, chocolate that is good for you is happening in Stirling right now. And I've made a personal commitment to all these 5 women. I'll do what I can to support them in business, though the chances are I'm far more likely to get to the chocolate factory than I am to the breakdancing sessions anytime soon. So just to conclude the lessons from that experience, Presiding Officer, it was clear to me that to help women succeed in business, what we need is a combination of collaboration and environments like Entrepreneurial Spark that help women overcome those barriers. They're not any greater than anyone else's, they are just different, and we need an economic strategy that recognises that.